Who could have thought that man could one day have his own space shuttle to live in? That too, one the size of an American football field. A man's home in space is 357 feet or 108 meters from end to end and weighs a good 1 million pounds or so. It keeps flying in space, orbiting the Earth, and most of us don't even know about its existence, just like we do know about its discoveries or the kind of controversies it was involved in. The International Space Station holds the honor of being the first international space project. It is a joint collaborative venture between 5 of the most powerful countries: the National Aeronautics and Space Administration from the USA, the Roscosmos from Russia, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the European and Canadian space agencies have come together to form the largest modular space station. The International Space Station is a research center on astronomy, astrobiology, meteorology, and physics, among other subjects. The station is in plain view of the naked eye from Earth due to its large size and relatively low altitude of 400 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. It is the largest artificial satellite of Earth and only has an orbit of about 93 minutes. This means that it moves across the same spot in the sky at least 15 times a day. An interesting fact about the International Space Station is that each and every part of it was carefully assembled in space. Its very first constituents were launched really early in 1998. 2 weeks later, Russia launched a crewed rocket, along with its contributory instruments, into space. Over the next 2 years, the International Space Station was gradually made ready for use. The very first crew made it to the International Space Station on 2nd November 2000, 2 years after the initial launch of the International Space Station. Since then, people have actually been living in the International Space Station. By the way, a perk of living there is that weighing scales report a lower body weight. The construction of the ISS was completed 13 years after its launch in 2011. Another interesting fact about the ISS is that it was first named Freedom, but as countries came in on the project, it was renamed to the International Space Station. The International Space Station also hosts a camera outside it, which provides us with a live feed of the Earth from space 24/7. The camera has allowed the public to view some of the most unique achievements of man in space. For example, in 2020, the ISS live feed covered the launch of SpaceX's Starlink satellites, and in 2006, it covered Brent Jet's journey to the International Space Station. Jet's mission was to install a solar array into the International Space Station. Here comes the interesting part. The same camera has been the cause of many controversies when people watching the live feed accused NASA of having deliberately shut down the live feed because it had spotted a UFO. This has happened many times, the most recent being in 2016 and multiple times in 2020. One clip also showed a weird elongated shape near the curve of the Earth that is neither an asteroid nor a man-made spacecraft. It did, however, possess an eerie resemblance to a UFO. So far, NASA has denied all such absurdities and cleared its name altogether. However, a new development by NASA makes us ask whether NASA is really as innocent as we think it is, and whether it is as adamant about no life existing outside of Earth as it seems to be. On 9th June 2022, Forbes International reported that the National Aeronautics and Space Agency was launching an extensive study and research program on UFOs. It is not like NASA to even acknowledge the possibility of the existence of UFOs, so this news is more than just surprising. This decision from NASA was issued a year after the U.S. intelligence agency issued a report about a plethora of UFO sightings around 2 decades ago, in 2004. According to the report in question, the U.S. federal government could not explain 143 out of 144 of the UAPs identified by military pilots. UAP stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon and can include everything from UFOs to weird meteors that haven't been identified as such, like Oumuamua once was. However, NASA is still not openly claiming its belief in the existence of extraterrestrial life. It claims that with this study, NASA aimed to move the scientific understanding of UAPs forward. It further stated that there is no evidence UAPs are extraterrestrial in origin. The study is not very well funded either. A minimal amount of $100,000 is involved in the study, no more. The duration of the study will be a little over 9 months. They will use data collected by multiple international governments, private space companies such as Elon Musk's SpaceX, non-government and non-profit organizations, and civilians. Well, good luck with that, NASA. Almost all of us have seen a UFO or know a person who has, and this data will be very difficult for NASA to collect and study. Another great development in the world of science is the introduction of artificial intelligence into multiple fields. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has also made its way into space. AI is the need of our time. Its integration into fields like space technology means communication to and from Earth is made more manageable, and errors associated with correction, distraction, and deviation are eliminated. Without the use of artificial intelligence, spacecrafts and probes require a lot of monitoring and many implications of collision, loss of power, and the like. AI instruments are automated and independently monitor all systems on board space stations. Artificial intelligence is wholly maintaining the routes and health of multiple space probes and rovers. AI instruments collect information and data from sensors and maps and use them to drive probes or interpret them for humans. Simon, Crew Interactive Mobile Companion, is an AI robot used in the International Space Station. It is shaped like a human head and helps astronauts find information easily. The German Aerospace Center funded the project and was built by IBM, the International Business Machines Corporation, and Airbus, a multinational European space cooperation. Judith Irina Buchheim and Alexander Choker, the advisors of Simon, claim as a partner and assistant, Simon could support astronauts in their high workload of experiments and maintenance and repair work, thereby reducing their exposure to stress. Simon has the ability to process verbal commands, and that is how he is asked to wake up. Post-waking up, Simon will not need to stretch and will immediately be able to offer astronauts a visual walkthrough of any procedures they wish to perform. It will also give you cute comments on your choices, like, "Yay, I like your favorite hits too," if you ask it to play some music. Basically, Simon is an advanced version of Alexa in space. Artificial intelligence is entering every field of work very speedily. It is becoming an increasing part of our life. And where AI broadens our horizons for study and research and leaves man freer to do more, it also has some disadvantages. For example, a rapid decrease in employment. Take the example of Simon, for instance. First, a professional would be needed to help out the astronauts aboard the ISS, but now a robot has taken up the task. Some people do argue that new employment opportunities will open up due to AI. But let's see what time has to show regarding this.